Hi, good morning. I'm going to talk about angels. Actually, in this episode, I'm going to talk about Seraphim. Actually, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verses 1 to 8, we learn about Seraphim. Chapter 6 talks about the prophet Isaiah's commission. I'm going to read the text first, and then I will explain about Seraphim. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphim, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried. I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched my mouth and said, See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, Here am I, send me. The seraphim, which means fiery, burning ones. They are angelic beings associated with the prophet Isaiah's vision of God in the temple when God called him to his prophetic ministry. Isaiah chapter 6 is the only place in the Bible that specifically mentions the seraphim. Each seraph had 6 wings. They used to fly, 2 to cover their feet and 2 to cover their faces. The seraphim flew about the throne on which God was seated, singing His praises as they called special attention to God's glory and majesty. These beings apparently also served as agents of purification for Isaiah as he began his prophetic ministry. One placed a hot coal against Isaiah's lips with the words, See, this has touched your lips, your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for. Similar to the other types of holy angels, the seraphim are perfectly obedient to God. Similar to the cherubim, the seraphim are particularly focused on worshipping God. The most influential Christian angelic hierarchy was that put forward by Pseudo-Dionysius, the Areopagite, in the 4th or 5th century in his book De Celesti Hierarchy, or On the Celestial Hierarchy. During the Middle Ages, many schemes were proposed, some drawing on and expanding on Pseudo-Dionysius, others suggesting completely different classifications. According to medieval Christian theologians, the angels are organized into several orders or angelic choirs. Pseudo-Dionysius on the Celestial Hierarchy and Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologica drew on passages from the New Testament, specifically Ephesians 1:21 and Colossians 1:16, to develop a schema of 3 hierarchies, seraph or spheres or triads of angels, with each hierarchy containing 3 orders or choirs. Although both authors drew on the New Testament, the biblical canon is relatively silent on the subject, and these hierarchies are considered less definitive than biblical material.